You want to get through topical steroid withdrawal as painlessly, as quickly, and as well-informed as possible. And in this TSW masterclass, I'm going to show you how. The truth is, topical steroid withdrawal is a living hell. I know, I've been through it. The good news is, I believe you can thrive during the process if you're well informed. I've had eczema my entire life and I'm a 3-time survivor of topical steroid withdrawal, so I know a thing or two, and I have narrowed down the TSW process to 8 key stages, okay? I haven't seen these explained this way on the internet, and I believe that after learning this information today, you can get through your TSW without a hitch, maybe an itch. Are you one of the few? This is the channel for you. My name is Victoria, and on this channel, I discuss all things eczema. So let's get into topical steroid withdrawal masterclass. TSW is what the title implies. It's withdrawing from topical steroid creams. It is not a fun process. It is not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it is doable. I'm gonna start this with saying I am not a doctor, clearly, so please consult your doctor before following any of the advice in this video. So, the 8 key stages of TSW starts with stage number 1, the atmospheric shift. I want you to imagine that your skin is a city, and in that nearby city, there is a volcano that just went off. Now, you heard the explosion, but in the city, you haven't quite felt the effects yet, but you do notice something is changing in the atmosphere, okay? That is what happens when you first stop your topical steroid. So when does this happen? This happens when you stop your steroids or when your skin becomes immune to the steroid. Why this happens? Steroid creams suppress your immune system. Okay? They narrow your blood vessels. When you stop using topical steroids, your body's kind of like, wait a second, what do I do now? What to expect during this stage? You might experience that your skin seems a bit wet, discomfort, excessive itching, just a general sense that something is off. Like at a far distance, something exploded, right? And your body's like, yeah, something's coming, okay? That's the atmospheric shift. Okay, how do you cope during this stage? Now, the first time I went through the real TSW, I did not do this, but the second time I did, and I found this very effective. I drank a lot of turmeric tea and an anti-inflammatory diet. So you can decide what you want to do there, but turmeric tea is very helpful, I think, with calming the inflammation during this atmospheric change in your body. How long will this last? Nobody can tell you. For myself, I went from the atmospheric stage to the next stage I'm going to tell you about fairly quickly. I would say within 1 or 2 weeks, okay? Stage number 2. Do you ever wonder what it's like to be on fire? Well, now you don't have to, because when you go through stage 2 of topical steroid withdrawal, it is called the skin on fire stage, because that is what it feels like. You are red, you are inflamed, and you are like, whoa! You wake up one day and your full body, head to toe, has just gone haywire. Why does this happen? Basically, the blood vessels in your body, they are dilating. Okay? They have no clue how to constrict. Imagine your whole life, you were never taught to drive, but you drove a Tesla. Auto drive, okay? And then one day someone says, I want you to get in their Camry, and they're like, just drive to the grocery store for me. You'd be like, I don't know how to do that, and probably get in a bit of an accident or something, right? That is what is happening when you stop taking topical steroid withdrawals. The steroids have been doing the heavy lifting for you, for your immune system, for your body, and now all of a sudden, you're basically telling your body to drive. And it's sloppy. I would say this is the most mentally grueling stage, other than stages maybe 4 and 5 especially. You can expect sore, itchy skin. You can expect a loss of focus. You can just the sense that your body has betrayed you, okay? How to cope during this season. My favorite ways to cope during this season is called the no moisture method. So I began to refrain from using products. Now, the very first time I went through TSW, I didn't do this right away, and I wish I had, because when your blood vessels dilate, your skin and your skin barrier are compromised. So any product that you tend to put on during this stage is just gonna cause further burning. So the no moisture method is very helpful, and this is a time to dial in to a relaxation routine. You need to learn to get your body to just be calm. The thing that I like to do during this stage is called cold water therapy, and basically it's a fancy way of saying take cold showers, and often cold showers, ice baths, they are your friend during the skin on fire stage. The next stage of TSW I would say is called the my skin is crying stage. My skin is depressed. This is characterized by oozing and weeping of the skin. When does this happen? Basically, it happens when you have been scratching the skin, or it can happen just spontaneously in the folds of the skin. So why does this happen? It's called inflammation and vasodilation. So your blood vessels are opening and your immune system is ramping up and pushing out this liquid out of your body called plasma. Plasma. It actually has a weird smell. Comment down below if you know the TSW smell that I'm talking about. That ooze is just the body's way of calming everything down. Imagine your skin is a tightly controlled city, okay? Steroids were the traffic cops that were keeping everybody in control, and now that the steroids have left the building, there is absolute chaos in the city. The blood vessels are running wild, flooding the streets, causing redness, heat, and chaos. Are going to be way more susceptible to infection during this stage. Your clothing might stick to the skin. Sadly, this is a time that you begin to feel like your skin looks unrecognizable to you. How you can cope with this, okay? If you are experiencing your clothing stuck to the skin, just go in the shower with your clothes on, let the water hit your body, and then take it off that way, okay? Don't try to peel your clothes off your skin. You're just going to add further irritation and discomfort, and we don't want that. I was notorious for taking Dead Sea salt baths, okay? I lived in the bathtub on a regular basis, okay? So prolonged Dead Sea salt baths can be very comfortable during this oozy weepy time. The Dead Sea salt kind of dries out the skin and heals the skin barrier. Dead Sea salt is like a miracle worker. All right, guys, don't worry. There is light at the end of the tunnel with these next stages, okay? We're gonna move into the next stage, which is, to me, one of my favorite stages. I know that sounds funny, but the next stage is called the dry and crusty stage. It's not necessarily the most aesthetic, but it's the most comfortable, I would say. Basically, this happens when the skin calms down. Skin begins a process called disquamification, which is a fancy way of saying shedding skin. Your skin is basically saying out with the old and in with the new. Back to the city, right? The skin city. Damage has been done. The volcano has just caused all the buildings to fall. Everything is just destroyed. And there's rubble everywhere. But now there's calm. That is the dry and crusty stage. All the damage has been done and you're just left with the dust, quite literally, okay? What to expect? You are going to be a walking dandruff commercial, okay? You could do work for Head and Shoulders. Don't wear black, whatever you do, don't wear black during this season. Keep a vacuum and a duster handy because your work will be cut out for you. Your body is gonna be flaking like nobody's business. If your skin during this season can handle or tolerate a moisturizer, you can come in with like a Cetaphil moisturizer and cream at this time, or something like my favorite holy grail, which is the aloe vera gel mixed with glycerin. This would be a time to add that. However, this is just a warning to you. Your skin may not be ready for that, so watch it carefully. If you notice that after putting on the lotion, it sends you into the red inflamed stage again, I would stick to the no moisture method, because sometimes products can just catapult you into the next stage, which is called the itch that won't quit. The itch that won't quit stage is not like this. These stages are not necessarily linear. They can all be happening simultaneously on different body parts at different times. One of the most annoying stages, and I noticed, tends to happen in the areas probably that have the most steroid damage. So for myself, I could not stop scratching my neck, my wrists, my fingers, and my upper lip. Like, it was like they were on clockwork for itch. It just wouldn't stop. Why this is happening is basically itch is actually your body trying to heal itself. The itching is a signal that your body is trying to heal. Some of the reasons are nerve regeneration, cellular skin turnover. Your skin is forming new skin and pushing it to the surface. Basically, your new skin city is cleaning up all the mess and bringing in new materials to build that city. The process of renovations is not a fun one, but there's hope. So what to expect? Basically, to be itching all the time. If you know your target areas, you can apply ice to those areas, and not all scratches are created equal. I have a video coming up where I discuss how to treat each itch because they're not all created equal. So how do you cope with the itch that won't quit? Uromalt 20. Guys, I only discovered her when I was out of topical steroid withdrawal, but had I known about her when I was in, that'd be amazing. Urimol 20 has a key ingredient called urea, and at 20%, it scientifically stops itch. It's one of my favorite products to use to stop itch. And the day that we've all waited for, it's the renovation day. This is the skin rebuilding season, baby. Your skin is basically ready to rebuild. It's rebuilding that city. And something to note is that your skin, it might not look like it once did. This is a new city. So my skin looked very lizard-like during this season because I had just done so much damage. So as it began to rebuild, the skin didn't quite look like it once did, but it felt better than than any other stage it's ever felt. There's no more open, broken skin. The skin has kind of stopped oozing. How do you treat this stage? You just double down on what's already been working. I have a shower routine regimen that this would be the perfect time to begin to use, start using products again. Of course, gentle products, do it one at a time to make sure that you can, almost like an elimination diet, an elimination skincare product where you one at a time, 1 week at a time, add products to your regime so you can know for sure what is working for your skin versus what is not. This next stage is very important and integral to understand, because if you don't, it could literally send you back to your topical steroids like a lost puppy. Like this stage, the rebound flare. This is when it seems like all is right with your world. Your skin seems like it's finally getting better, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're flaring. Everything is a mess. Maybe you're flaring somewhere you've never flared before. Maybe you're flaring just it had all healed up and now it's starting again. These were the hardest days for me. This is one of the most frustrating moments, but it is part of topical steroid withdrawal, and take heart, good days are ahead. Why it happens. Crazy to think that a small little cream can wreak such havoc on your body, your immune system, your hormones, but it takes time to get that out of your system. And it also takes time for your skin to understand an anti-inflammatory response. So your skin is like super sensitive and just comes guns blazing. Right? You have good cops, right? But they don't know how to respond. So they just come guns blazing anytime it even perceives a threat to the skin. What to expect during this season is discouragement. I'm not gonna lie to you, it can be very discouraging, and I think at least mentally knowing that this could happen could definitely probably sort of bypass some of that discouragement, but it's discouraging. Rebounds are just tough mentally, and sometimes you can forget. You can feel like you're starting all over again, but you're not. How to cope during this process is to just have a mental grip, have an understanding. Knowledge is power. So just knowing that if your skin has gone good and then it went bad and good and went bad, that is a sign that you are on your way to healing. And mentally, just knowing that can change the game. Just mentally, oh my gosh, my skin has actually been better before, so it will be better again. And then finally, one day, ladies and gentlemen, you are out of the woods, okay? We love that. You're out of the woods. You'll wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm not scratching anymore. Oh, my skin's actually okay. Oh, I can go in the pool again without burning. One day you wake up and you're like, my skin, I'm healed. It's done. The process. Topical steroid withdrawal. What was that? It's just a fever dream, a distant memory, actually a distant nightmare, but it'll all be over, and we thank God for that season. But there's something I want you guys to know. You might come out of your topical steroid withdrawal and have what I had, which was eczema, and learning to thrive and cope with your eczema, because eczema and topical steroid withdrawal are very different. What is the bonus stage that I'm still struggling with to this day? The insomnia stage, okay? And the best way I can describe this is, all right, so you have a skin city, there was an explosion, we did the rebuilding, there was mess everywhere, then we did the rebuilding process, and now we have a new city. You go to bed at night, and even though they told you that volcano will never erupt again, topical steroids have done a damage to your hormonal systems, to your internal systems, more so than just the physical element. There is an unseen stress that you will struggle with. And it took me a long time to be able to sleep properly again. You develop really bad sleeping habits when you are in topical steroid withdrawal. Another reason you develop these habits is because you are up with itching. I'm up all night scratching. It messes up with my circadian rhythm. So when it comes to scratching, I just want you guys to understand that not all itch is created equal. And I feel like TSW is like a rabbit hole of information, but don't worry. In my next video, I'm going to tell you guys the 5 types of itch and how to deal with those itch, because not all itches are created equally. So it sounds like something that you're interested in. Check out that video. And until then,